if someone is proven to have committed adultery, then they would be punished through lashes, or if they're married and they commit adultery, then that's punished through stoning. And this is the law that exists in the Old Testament, in the Hebrew Bible. They had it in Judaism. In Christianity, canon law, the Catholic Church prescribed lashes for sexual crimes. So if it's proven in a court of law through due process, not your brother or your father like getting pissed because, oh, I saw you with a boy, therefore I'm going to kill you. That's barbaric. That's something completely rejected in all major religions. But if there's due process, there's a criminal court basically is proven, then that is the punishment of God. And this has been recognized in both Judaism, Christianity, and Islam.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that adultery should be illegal and punishable by death. But I will say that people listening might find that to be, oh my gosh, you think that somebody could be stoned to death. And I always think we electrocuted people to death. I mean, there is some really insane stuff that we have done. I don't think that that we as Americans or even Christian culture have any right to criticize how any other country does capital punishment, considering we'd literally fry people. That to me is like some of the most barbaric stuff I've ever heard. But I want to get into. Yeah,
sorry to interrupt you, but people who have been cheated on, they might have a different kind of perspective on that. And there's some really sad, horrific stories of because of DNA tests nowadays. You have people who are gifted by their children, 23andMe, let's get this DNA test, and then they find out like he's a father of 5 children, or so he thought, and actually his wife was cheating all these years. None of those children are his. Even though he raised them, they're in their 20s. So what a nightmare, like that kind of harm and trauma. And it also, it's not only destroys him as a person, but if this is rampant in society, it really destroys the fabric of society. So there really needs to be a harsh deterrent against it. And that's, why we see it in many religions, like the same kind of deterrent.
I guess I just don't think that punishment is a good deterrent. I think what's a good deterrent is education and instilling certain values. But I still think positivity is the way to go. But, we might not
agree. I agree. There's a lot of positivity in Islam too. And if that's what you mean by positivity, like you have restrictions, but there's also a positive message. And Islam is like that as well. There are a lot of...
it's just not that you're going to be harshly punished. You're not going to be killed if you don't behave in the way. They're just going to... what happens, like if you're not behaving in the way that they want or the way that they teach in the Mormon religion, you just get pulled aside nicely, and they just say
that's the same in Islam. Like
but they're not going to they're not going to stone you to death if you commit adultery.
Adultery is an extreme crime. Adultery is like.
But even then, Mormons don't believe in stoning somebody to death over it.
Okay, what if someone is a child molester? In the Mormon church, are they going to just take him aside and educate him and tell him, you shouldn't be diddling little kids in the closet?
No, I mean, if you break the laws, then you should go to jail. Who
defines the law, right? Who defines the law?
Right, yeah, right. And in the state of Utah, most of it's done by Mormons. Mormons actually control most of the laws in that state. So most of the state laws are controlled by Mormons.
Sometimes harsh punishments are justified, right? So you don't have a problem with stoning per se. You just think that adultery is not a serious enough crime to justify that, but you don't have a problem.
And in Utah, it would be the firing squad.
Yeah, or the firing squad.
They do it they do it through firing squad, and it's for religious reasons. But it's, but yeah, only certain, very, very, very certain crimes would be punished by death.
That's like in Islam. There are only certain crimes are punished by death.
But adultery is one of them.
It's a serious crime. Adultery is a serious crime. No.
Everybody should be killed.
I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that everyone cheats.
Sadly, I think.
Unfortunately, a lot of people do, but that's because of the breakdown in marriage. That's because there's no deterrent. If there was a harsh deterrent like stoning, then I think a lot fewer people would be cheating.